Welcome everyone to another episode of Ball Card Banter. I'm Snake,
Rusty Nuts here,
and we're joined live. We're in the COG Sports Cards studio. We're joined live by the Snowman with I Love Baseball Cards. How's it going, Phil / Snowman?
Good. Are you guys?
Bank?
What?
You at the bank with the safes behind you?
I'm. This is where the Snowman vaults are. So all topics are on the table. So hopefully everything's within reach if we need to have visual aids to our topics today.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Go ahead and start just pulling out visual aids randomly and throwing them up in front of the screen, and then we'll start talking about those. Okay, cool. So this is this little ball card banter thing is something we tried to set up for a long time. This is Phil would get together with us and we'd sit and talk for a couple hours about nothing. And so we thought, man, it'd be cool if we could sit and talk about nothing with all our friends out there, right?
Yeah, yeah, a show about nothing.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of maybe we should taking cues from Seinfeld, maybe, right?
Yeah.
This is a little bit different for our channel. We usually do a lot of busting and opening and chasing stuff, and that stuff's kind of hectic and stressful, and we worry about not pulling a huge hit sometimes. And the Sunday night live streams that we do, they're Sunday evenings. Those are always chaos. We just go through those as fast as we possibly can because we try to get so much in the time to not make the show for 6 hours, I guess. So this is for us to relax and have fun and hang out and talk. So that's pretty much what this is. And so I think the first show was really fun for us. I hope everybody else out there enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, we had a good time. So I don't know. I guess we let you sort of do an intro last time for your channel. Do you have anything else you want to say about the channel? Anything going on with you?
I haven't done much with the channel. The video I just put today, I was explaining, sorry, it's just been a busy week, and any card stuff I was doing wasn't for the channel. It's trying to scramble to get a PSA order together. So I'm going through, seeing what's worth submitting because their special expires within a week. They're for pre-1990 at $15 a piece. So I'm trying to take advantage of that and grade a bunch more of my 56s and 71s for those sets. So it's any free time that's for sports cards has been focused on pulling what's worth grading and getting it all, in the nice card savers and ready to go. So that's pretty much been the only sports card stuff the last week. So I apologize to everybody that it was a while. I think it was like 10 days since my last video. So I did
10 days and no post. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
good though. That's good.
I let everybody down, but I got that one up. I'm gonna put another one up tomorrow too. So
let's talk about what PSA Special is right now for our news section.
I got an email like a month ago saying that they're running a special for what they call for a vintage special. So it has to be 1989 and older. I think it's only a 10 card minimum at $15 a card, which is lower than it's been a while. So I got to jump at opportunities like that to try to grade some of the commons and things that I need to get graded. It's $199 maximum, so maximum value, which it's kind of a bummer. So you can't be sending in any 50s and 60s superstar Hall of Famers because then it's going to be above the maximum declared value. Yeah,
that's kind of a bummer that they set that for you. There's so many. That's one thing about PSA that kind of frustrating is they have these little promotions and stuff like that, but there's so many caveats to it. Seems like.
Yeah.
Even the membership level for us is a kind of we just like sending to SGC and not having to sign up for the.
What's the turnaround time on those?
Oh, that's a good point. What are they? 60 days minimum.
90 business days.
90 business days. 90 business days. That turns into like 120 total days. Probably.
Yeah, it's probably. I'll be let's see, what are we at? February. So I'll probably see those maybe like August is what I figure.
That's what's hard for us to swallow too.
Yeah.
Hey, Maiden, thanks so much for the super chat. My Sunday friends on Wednesday. Awesome. Yes. So appreciate that, Maiden. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. That's I mean, this is always fun for us, and we like just coming in and relaxing with you. All of our great super fans out there, and this is just kind of a way for us to kick back and hang out. So yes, that's
Maiden was my 500th subscriber.
Oh, cool.
Number
awesome.
500. Yep, that's what took me to 500.
Awesome.
A Canadian.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I wonder what that converts to in Canadian. 500 might have been like 491 or something like that.
Yeah. It doesn't count as 500.
Maybe Canadian can be your 1,000th subscriber. That would, I mean, Maiden. I mean, that would be awesome. Let's see here. Also, Pistol, thanks for the super chat. She says, "Open the vault." Ooh, thanks so much, Pistol. Yeah, there you go. There's your first challenge of the night. So, Snowman, I would say that now you can open it, and you can't show anything, pull anything out of it yet, till someone else chimes in.
There's that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
So, tons of unopened boxes, unopened packs, PSA cards, and just cards that are just sleeved up. Just stacks and stacks of where are we? There we go.
Yeah,
just stacks and stacks of stuff that are just in nice shape.
Top one's a 54 Bowman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you can't pull stuff out and show it till somebody calls you out there, Snowman. Got to leave it in there till somebody. That's awesome. Cool. That's cool seeing.
That's a lot of sets in this one.
So you keep your that's where you keep your complete sets or partial sets.
Yeah.
Your 52 set.
No 52 set. Yeah. The 56 set is where is it?
That is awesome. All graded PSA 56 so far, right?
A third, it's complete, and a third of it's graded. And that's why I'm trying to take advantage of this PSA Special, and I would like to send in another like 30 or 40 56s and try to get 3s or better. Because I was looking at buying some, like one that I need graded is the cards number 1 and 2, the Giles and Heritage, the American League.
The President's cards. Yeah.
And I was looking at even buying one in a 3 or a 4. It's like $80 or $90. So I think mine will get a 3. It has a hairline crease down the center of it, but it could get a 3 still. And for $15, it's worth a shot versus buying one. So a lot of.
In fact, I think I got one on the Burles break.
One of the manager or the president's cards?
Yeah, one of the president's cards.
There you go. You might have another shot at, but we don't submit to PSA, so you'd have to deal with.
I didn't bring it with me, but I'll have to look through there, and I may send it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, take it. No, we do a trade. That's what I also said in this video that I just.
It looked in real good shape. Awesome. I won't get it slabbed in a SGC.
We'll go track it down for you.
We'll track it down.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. But yeah,
so PSAs, did you say that they do or do not have a maximum you can send in with this per order?
There's no maximum, just the minimum.
Yeah, minimum of, you said?
I think it's 10 cards.
10 cards.
Yeah.
No higher value than $200, basically.
Right.
And 90 business day return.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, you're talking about August, but like we talked about last time, if your collection's PSA, you're willing to deal with that stuff, right? You're willing to put up with that.
It's all, there's, where's the stack of, here, let's, we'll take you in depth here.
Oh, no, okay.
There's just stacks of PSA graded. It's everything's PSA in here.
My goodness.
So it's,
yeah, that is awesome.
It's the disease that, like, once you have it, you can't switch horses midstream, kind of.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, you could. There's nothing wrong with having a complete. You see some of these high-end sets sell on like the auction websites where, you know, there's this many that are graded and this many are PSA, this many are SGC, this many are GAI or whoever used to grade too. But
yeah.
So a lot of people don't mind, and I shouldn't mind, but oh well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you start, if you are a set collector, right? Once you start a set, it is kind of hard to switch. I mean, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I've got my 63 Fleer set that
it's all PSA.
It's all PSA 8s, and I wouldn't go buy Beckett, 8s and throw in the set with it.
Yeah, it just wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only real set that I'm collecting, especially like that. The rest of my cards, I mean, it's just kind of a bunch of crazy wish lists everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you do good, player collections where, your Murph, your Aaron, your Spawn, Matthews, your player collections, some of those have a mix of different grading companies, and that's, it's.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to bother me when it's a player, run of cards versus when you're putting a set together or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, there's no reason to not have SGC and PSA mixed. It's just people like me that I mean, I can't justify why I need everything in PSA. I don't have an answer. So,
you're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. But one big advantage I think that SGC has is just their turnaround, man. It is so much more convenient to get your cards back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, it's fun too. I mean, because then you're like, because if I send an order to PSA, I don't tend to send another one in until I get that one back. Yeah. Because I want to see how it did. Do I need to, find another raw one to submit for something that got a bad grade or it was trimmed or something? So you have to wait a while. Some people don't care. They'll have like 6-7 orders at PSA, but I don't want to have that many cards over there at once.
And I heard that even if you send in like 6 or 7, there's no guarantee which one's going to come back first either. Is
no.
That is crazy to me. Like, it's not first in, first out. It's, I don't know what it is. What levels you're sending in or something? I'm not sure.
Well, and the maximum value, there was another YouTuber, I forgot who it was, who said it doesn't make sense because if they grade $1,000 card, it's the same effort as grading $100 card. There's not an extra step in the process. There's nothing done differently on the value of card that they're grading.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that is frustrating is the different step-ups of levels of cost. Like if you have a $100,000 card, it might cost you what, $10,000 to $15,000 or something to have that card graded.
Yeah,
I understand I think that what they're doing is taking the liability, of having that card in their facility, and they're saying if something happens to this card while it's in our facilities, we have to replace it. So the insurance for us to cover that while it's here might be, but it's not going to be $15,000.
No. I mean, I could see maybe they're putting extra eyes on it, critiquing a little bit more, got to pay an extra man or two to look at it, but not $15,000.
I don't understand that at all. I mean, that seems like extortion. I mean, wow. I don't know. But all companies are doing that too, right? So I don't think there's anybody that just says, this is our price no matter what your value.
Yeah, but SGC though has more leeway though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm all around much more familiar and pleased with SGC's current business practices and customer service. I mean, they're killing it.
Yeah, and that's another thing too is the customer service. You hope you don't have a problem with PSA because there was also that Ty from Bench Clear who had that totally wasn't even his card sent back, and he's, well, where's my card? And he had to literally like get up in the morning and start calling right at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock to get in the queue. And if he couldn't get in the queue, then he had to try again the next day and the next day. It was like a week of him just trying to get in the queue for a callback.
Dang.
PSA.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we have sent emails to SGC and they'll just get back to us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, PSA was like that. I'm going to say like 3-4 years ago, I'd have a question, and that afternoon I'd have a detailed, really good answer. But now they even the email, you get an automated response saying, well, you know, it might be a week or two, so you might want to try calling instead of emailing. Or yeah, you just hope you hope you don't have a problem.
Really. Yeah, really. Oh, crazy. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, there are some other grading companies. I do like that we have several options out there right now. We're not all tied down to one option, and that's good for the hobby and good for the community.
Yeah. Well, the only bummer and it's just because of some stuff that's happened, is like with the Jordan, your 5.5 Jordan that was cracked out of a Beckett. I have only sent 2 cards to Beckett, like in 2002. It was the first grading I ever did. It was a special. If you subscribe to the magazine, you got 2 free gradings. And those are the only Beckett's I've sent. And I mean, I loved their holders and all the subgrades, but there's been so many issues with stuff like with your Jordan rookie that they graded it, they slabbed it a 5.5, but it's altered.
Yeah, and we weren't aware of that till this happened, right? And I think you even informed us of that going on. We didn't even know about it.
Well, I have, and I bought it in a Beckett because it was a lot cheaper in a Beckett, but my Pete Rose rookie is in a Beckett, and I'm nervous about crossing it because what if, you know, what if there's an issue with it? What if there's what if it's altered? What if it's a fake? So
yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd touch it.
Yeah,
I think I'd leave it. I mean, if I was you, after what we've been through.
Yeah. So it's still sitting for like 5 years. It's been in a Beckett. It's I think it's a 4.5. So it's nice eye appeal, but who knows what?
Yeah.
Can you send them in? Like if you decide to send that to PSA, can you send that in the Beckett slab like it is and say, hey, I want this graded and put in the PSA slab? You think that would have any effect on it if we did that? Well, no, we couldn't have done that because it was altered anyway. If
we would have gotten it in the slab.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing too. There's a lot of debate on what should you. Let's say I send that Pete Rose 4.5 Beckett to PSA, and there's a lot of like, do they look at what Beckett gave it and they don't want to give it either better or worse? I don't know what their thinking would be. Like, if Beckett gave it a 4.5, would PSA give it a 6? Because they look at the 4.5 and they don't want to be that different than another grading company. So a lot of people, that's why they crack them out and then, you know, cut it out of the Beckett holder and then send it as if it's raw to PSA, hoping that PSA just gives it an honest eye without having a bias based on the grade that's already there from Beckett.
Right.
Yeah. What about, so, I mean, would you ever buy, so there's also, people sending cards back to PSA and trying to get a reevaluation of their previous grade with it. So if you have an old label and somebody thinks, well, that should have been an 8 instead of a 6.5. You ever think about trying to do that kind of stuff? Because as far as I understand, if they did grade it a 9, it comes back a 7. I think PSA will give you that difference in value, won't they?
I don't know. That would be like but see, that's another thing. Would they, for their own pride, if you sent them something that's in a 9 holder and then they regraded it a 7, a lot of the times I see people on YouTube send in stuff for a regrade. They've cut it out of a holder, like they've cut it out of a PSA 9 holder and sent it raw, hoping that there's no bias, like
trying to get a
10. Trying to get a 10. That they just grade it. And I mean, there's when you said the older holders, I think there's a consensus, especially if you look at some of the cards in the older holders, that they were a little more lenient on grades.
Yeah.
So if I have something in an older holder, I'm probably not going to resubmit it, because something that's in a 7 and it actually, like, boy, that looks more like a 5.5 or a 6. I'm just going to let it be. Just leave it in the older holder.
But I think I had heard where they I think I had heard that they will actually give you the price difference, like the value difference, if they grade it lower.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
But that's if you send it back in the slab.
Yeah, sure.
The original slab.
Yeah, you can't send it in raw with the label and then expect them to honor that. Yeah. But I think, I mean, that's an interesting strategy, though, because you could go buy some 9s that you know are not 9s, send them in to have them relabeled, and then just hope for some cash back.
I don't think that would pay off.
I mean, if
it's
for your PC or something, you're not worried about upgrading it or anything like that.
Snake's side hustle there.
Yeah, it definitely is not a money-making hustle, that for sure, because you're losing that money in the value of that card. So, that would be that would be awesome.
Well,
I'm not going to go.
Is Second Opinion's expensive? I had just an absolute gorgeous. This is one of my first grading orders back in like 08, 09 with PSA, and it was a 59 Clemente, and it got a 5, and to me it looked like an 8, and so I sent it back for a second opinion, paid the the reval fee, and it came, it got sent back to me as a 5 again. So I was just like, okay, there's something on it that I missed.
Yeah, so you got a new label.
I think they left it in the same holder. Yeah.
No way. How's that? That doesn't sound fair.
I think it was the same serial number and everything. They might.
I can understand the same serial number if they want to keep the card serial number the same.
But they'd have to take it out to reevaluate it, because I mean they got to look at surface. I mean, they do that through properly?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah.
Well, I called them a few years ago when I was nervous about cracking out or sending a Beckett graded card for them to grade. I said, well, what happens like if you take it out and now it's out of a holder and then you discover that it's fake or altered or something? They say that they look at it in the holder first before they do anything with it, to get all the info they can and analyze it under magnification while it's still in the Beckett holder before they take it out and then give it a grade out of the holder.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right. I just want to point one thing out. Look at that shirt you're wearing.
No, I know. I like this shirt. This is comfy. It fits perfect.
Yeah, some SGC swag right there.
Yeah, SGC swag.
It looks good, man. It looks good.
You better not let PSA see you.
I had a PSA shirt, and I really liked it. And I don't know what happened to it. It's 3 years ago. It's gone, but I wore that all over the place. We would have burned it. No. So what have you been looking for? What have you been buying sports cards wise? Anything? One card. One card is on your. That's all that's on your list right now. One card. That is awesome. I crossed it off the list. I've acquired one card. There's you acquired the one card. That's great. It's on today's video. That's up. It's the So about a year ago, I had bought. So I really liked the look of the 54. Should I go? I would have to walk away from the camera to go grab them. Do you want me to do that real quick? I know what you're talking about, but you can do whatever you want. But I know what it is. We watched it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll go get it so everybody else can see if they have. Yeah, sure. Just right across the room. That's okay. We get a good view of the vault.
We'll zoom in on your vault.
Yeah, should we do that? No, I don't know if we should. Is it bad to show that? Yeah. Boom. There you go. I'm pretty jealous of that. Those vaults are awesome. Ooh. That is so we do not have that in the COG Sports Card Studio. All we have are displays right there. I got some cards taken out because I want to do a PC video real quick, maybe tonight.
That we have to redo?
We have to redo because I forgot a card.
I recommend getting. I mean, these are both Costco safes. I mean, they were cheaper than some of the other ones, and they it's. I put the more valuable stuff in there in case of fire or break in or things like that. So
yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, as far as protecting your investment, what else could you do besides taking it to a safety deposit box? I guess, right?
Well, because my wife says she's so nervous because I mean this is my retirement. She says, "Well, your retirement is paper. Paper burns." So
yeah, I mean, if that was my retirement, I'd have a pretty healthy insurance policy out on it. I would say so.
Yeah, no, I took out extra. There's extra coverage on the house to cover those.
Yeah, good.
But so here's what I was talking about. So about a year ago, I bought the orange Ted Williams in a 3. And because I liked it better than the yellow one. But there was a recent giveaway, and the grand prize at the end was the card number 250, the yellow version. And I really wanted that card, and I didn't win. And so I was looking, and man, they are overpriced, and raw was overpriced. But I made a best offer on a 2, which, I mean, to me, good enough.
Yeah.
And so this came about a week ago. So cross that off the list to go. So it's like what we were talking about before, where it's like, well, some things go together. So I had this one, so I want this one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And those are the
recent pickup. What about you guys? Anything you're focused on the hunt?
Yeah. What do you want to go first or?
Go ahead there.
So
I'm thinking.
I'm still on the hunt for following through on my 63 Fleer set.
Right.
I've got a little over half of those done now. I've got almost all the major cards, I think. So yeah, that's I'm always on the hunt for that. I'm thinking about so I want to finish up my Hank Aaron run. Looking for those cards. I've got a few left in that, and then I'm thinking about also trying to clean up my Warren Spawn run. So I'm going to do a PC video of my Warren Spawn cards here pretty soon, either tonight and post it next week or something like that. I don't have a whole lot, but I love those. I love his cards. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I just love his cards.
Well, I think we talked last time too. He's so undervalued, and I mean that's why. I mean, I should have picked up more Spawn cards. I only picked up a few years ago. Just random here and there, and I should have picked up more because I mean they've gone up since. But I mean 5 years ago they were even more. Just I mean they were almost priced as like a minor star.
Yeah,
he's one of the greatest pitchers ever.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, I still think he's undervalued, but his cards have gone up quite a bit. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites in history, right there.
Yeah.
As far as anything else, we are looking forward to the Nashville Card Show coming up here in March, I think. So, as far as I know, we're going to try to make it down there for the March show.
Yeah.
And that's probably what I'll kind of be chasing there. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm on the hunt for a Pete Rose rookie, of course.
Yeah,
that's a big one. Or a Koufax rookie.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Well, the Pete Rose rookie was when I was first started collecting back in 82, 83. The Pete Rose rookie was the card. I mean, all my friends, everybody, that was the card. All the way through the 80s was, that was Pete Rose rookie was the best card you could have. And none of us could dream of having a Pete Rose rookie as a kid. So that's been a legendary card going way back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got my, if that same dealer's down there that had the Roger Maris 67.
Oh yeah, you think you can find that card again?
If he still got it, which I probably should have. I might do some research on it, so to make sure I'm not getting hoodooed.
It's a 67 card though, with Maris, and it has Yankees on it instead of the Cardinals.
Right? When he got traded the Cardinals,
so it's like the promo card or something.
Oh my gosh, I've never even heard of that card.
We hadn't either.
What was that one graded?
I think so.
I think it was graded.
I think so.
It was blank on the back, just cardboard on the back, and it had Yankees across it, and it was the same picture,
Yeah.
but had Maris Yankees.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was blank on the back.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I think he
Yeah.
wanted a pretty penny for it.
You can imagine. I mean, how cool is that?
The only thing similar to that I've ever, I think it was in a sports card magazine like 10 years ago, was the 77 Reggie Jackson. Instead of the airbrushed Yankees uniform and helmet, there is I don't know how many 77 Reggie Jacksons that show him in an Orioles uniform. And I want to say those were going for 5 figures. It's like an incredible, rare. You can probably find a picture of it on the web, but seeing him in it, because it skipped from, so the 76 card is him on the A's, the 77 is the Yankees. They never show that year of him on the Orioles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they
I didn't know,
airbrushed.
yeah, that's an interesting one.
That's
there.
pretty cool.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. I saw it in a magazine once, and I was just like, oh, that would be so cool to have. Is Reggie in an Orioles uniform.
That would be awesome.
It kind of looked like Rusty's shirt right there. That's what the card looked like.
Really?
Yeah, it was orange. Yeah.
The one with was it his headshot? It was a headshot, wasn't it?
No, it was I want to say it was, you
77.
could see a lot of the uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of a headshot though. It's
Yeah.
a shoulder shot.
Yeah.
Shoulder mount kind of.
It'd be obvious, I mean, of course, but
yeah.
I'm trying. If I had my stuff here,
Yeah.
I probably had one.
You probably got one in there. Not the orange one.
Not the orange one. No.
Yeah. So Phil, when you have cards on your list, are you looking to buy? Do you buy a lot of raw cards?
Boy, that's a good question. It's I'd say for the first, I don't know, going until recently, I bought mostly raw, just because I couldn't afford the graded. I mean, I could get a raw version sometimes for like a quarter of the cost of something that was already graded.
Yeah.
I got burned really, really badly. Like when I started getting into vintage, 07, 08, 09, in those years, I bought a lot of very nice looking raw. And I still remember one of my early PSA orders. I kid you not, I want to say 40% of my order came back as
trimmed. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, there was, that was devastating. I almost just gave up on the hobby with that. When that order came back, and thinking of all the money I'd spent on those cards off eBay raw, they were all trimmed. And so from then on, most of the raw that I bought was actually lower grade, because if it looks lower grade, if it looks like, 3 to 6 range, it's probably not trimmed, because the trimmed ones are just, crazy sharp, clean, sharp corners, nice edges. If it looked too good to be true on eBay, just from pictures, I steered clear. I got lucky with a couple of ones that I bought, just, a lot of emails back and forth to the seller. That's how I got my Montana rookie that graded a 9. I paid $100 for it raw. And the guy assured me he had pulled it from a pack and all this stuff.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. So that's one of the best raw buys. But then recently, just people seem to be overcharging for raw. Like I mean, you could see the darn thing is maybe a 3 or a 4 raw, and they're asking a price as if it's a 6 or a 7. So with people kind of overcharging for raw, I've bought more and more of the stuff I've bought has been already graded. Yeah. Like both of these. I mean, both of these Williams, I bought already slab.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we've experienced the same thing at card shows. Is the dealers are trying to sell a couple grades higher probably than what we think it would, at least starting out for sure, that level.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frustrating. But it's part of the hobby.
There's a few people. Well, one I know off the top of my head that we use on eBay, but out of California, Greg Morris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone knows Greg Morris, I think.
But we buy raw from Lynn because he's spot on his what he says it is. I mean, get it, send it in, it gets that grade. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So I guess the moral of the story is find someone that you trust out there before you spend a lot of money with them on eBay. It seems like, to me at least, right?
Well, that's where I got lucky with a lot of the 61s that I have had graded in the last few years. And hasn't been listing stuff in about a year. I'm bummed, but they're all stuff that were from his childhood that he opened out of packs himself.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's where I got like that. I want to say it was like a 61 Ernie Banks All-Star that got a 7. And so much of the stuff I was getting from him raw was getting 6s and 7s. And the price I was paying was insanely low.
Yeah. That's good.
So I kept going back to him every month or so and buying another couple raw 61s. He had mostly 58s and 61s.
Wow.
Just
That's
kept
awesome.
going back and buying, and even some commons too that were just crazy sharp. I'm like, man, that is just gorgeous. And it was like, $10, and I would pick it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there are some other, you can find someone like that, right, out there. You can find those people out there every once in a while. I have some other people saved in my searches, seller searches, and but yeah, Greg Morris is good. I like that you can go actually on his website, do some searches for what he's got, and then go on the eBay too.
Yeah,
he's got everything listed. But there's some others, there's like Kit Young. Kit Young. I think Kit Young's a little expensive a lot of times.
Well, even when I've watched or tried about to bid on stuff from Greg Morris, people know the reputation. So sometimes those raw cards go for quite a bit more than kind of my range or my budget. So
that's right.
But overall, I'm, I picked up this Williams. I really, like I said, my focus this year is to grade as much as I can for the 56 and 71 sets. And, like I said, I'd like to get those done in about 5 years, and then maybe I sell them complete, because I've been looking at some sold listings for completely graded sets, and it's pretty insane what they can go for. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, people honor your hard work in putting a set like that together, all graded, right? So yeah, there's a lot of value in that for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the value of that's, I don't see it going down ever.
Yeah.
No.
Not in those.
Yeah.
No, even like just the raw cards, when I bought a huge chunk of that 56 set all together, just all raw. I mean, when I got it, the raw 56s were, $2 or $3 a piece. But now they're, 10, 15, 20 a piece, trying to, because I'm looking to upgrade, trying to get another raw one. It's so expensive. I'm like, okay, I'll just look for maybe an already graded one and pay $5 more for something that's already graded.
Yeah. So I think last time you talked a little bit about your local card shop too, and how vintage prices at your local card shop seem fairly elevated above market value most of the time too, right?
Yeah. It's an awesome card shop, and if I was in the market for some of the vintage that he has, I mean, he would negotiate. He would package things up. He's incredible. I mean, I've seen him so many times. Even before I was friends with him, he would give stuff for free to my kids when I would come in with my kids and stuff. Yeah. So he's all about just being making lasting relationships and lasting business that never try to rip somebody off. So it's but it's incredible. It's sad in this economy. A lot of people are offing their collections, and like while I'm in there, you should see some of the stuff that walks in the door. Oh my!
Really?
Yeah. If you have a card shop, it's one of the only businesses. It's not like you're gonna have a clothing store or something like that where somebody's gonna walk in and say, "Oh, here, you want to buy these off me?" I mean, a card shop's one of the only businesses I could think of. People are coming in off the street and stocking your inventory for you.
Coming in with more valuable stuff than you have in your store already. Saying, here.
Yeah. There's this insane stuff. He just got I don't know how many 5,000 count boxes in a few weeks ago from one guy of all 1975 tops. And these things are immaculate. And I need to make this time to sit down there with my list and flip through the commons for some of the things that need upgrading to my 75 set, because these things, they're pack fresh. They are
that's
crazy
awesome.
Sharp.
Yeah,
and that just
that's
came
awesome.
off the street, and he offered the guy one price for maybe 15,000 cards from 1975, and yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have a couple of card shops, I guess, locally. We do a lot of dealing with one of the guys, and the other guys we try to just go in and chat and hang out a lot of times. Yeah, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But having a local card shop that's a trusted source for you, that's a big benefit, really. It is. And you guys out there that have a local card shop that's stocked full of cool vintage stuff, it's kind of a jewel to have locally.
Yeah, and one of them that we have here, he's got some vintage there, but he mainly makes his money off all the new stuff.
Yeah. But they've got to keep the doors. They've got to keep the doors open.
He keeps it turning on that.
Yeah. They have people from all around come get stuff when it's released and buy the whole case and take it back.
Yep.
And I mean, they have local people that do that too. I know. We have some friends. I'm friends with the guy who just buys the new stuff, throws it on eBay as soon as he can. That's all. That's his little corner of the hobby. That's what he loves to do.
But a card shop is a lot of times when people will buy like a high-end box, they'll open it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch them. I still remember it was like a couple of years ago when he was still it was worth a lot, and people right there were offering him for it. It was I can't even pronounce the guy's last name. Tua. It's the football quarterback.
Yeah.
He pulled a silver whatever out of Panini, numbered out of 5, autographed, and I think people are offering him like, oh, I'll give you $1,200 for that right now, and so
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's always exciting. I mean, if you pull a Tagovailoa, 1 of 1 with everybody standing around you, that's going to be fun. Right?
Yeah,
that's going to be fun. But we like pulling vintage cards with everybody hanging out with us on our Sunday live streams. That's so much fun for us. I mean, we love that.
But finding it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Buying chase boxes, right?
Yeah,
with vintage stuff in them.
That's the funnest thing to do.
We love doing that.
Yes. It's the only way you can afford that's the only way I think you or I are ever going to end up with a Mantle rookie is pulling it out of one of those, Universal Treasures. And you guys have had a great run of chase boxes. You had both on Sunday were awesome. And then the Golden Lion video you guys put up Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, holy cow. I mean, there was some cool vintage coming out of there.
There was.
Like 69 Joe Morgan. And, it's just, wow. That
pulling those 59 multiplayer cards out. And I mean, there's something about pulling those vintage cards out of a pack for me.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it, really. To sit there and open a pack that has any Mickey Mantle card in it.
Oh yeah.
We just love those chase boxes and the set break boxes like that, because you're not going to have that chance. You're not going to have that opportunity to. We're not going to go buy a pack of a box of 59 tops. We just can't afford that unless we win the lottery. So.
Well, that's the thing we've talked about too, is it's getting harder to, like even on my channel to open older stuff because there's only a fixed supply and I can't, and for me, it's hard to okay, so let's say I want to open another, 83 rack pack, Topps baseball rack pack, something that I remember paying $9 for just maybe 5 or 6 years ago. On eBay, it's selling for $30, $40, $50 for an 83 rack pack. And you're just like, oh, that's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah.
So I've been opening newer stuff sometimes on my channel, even though I have no clue about it, because it's it's fun to open stuff. It's fun to,
Yep.
and it's weird that the video I'm going to post tomorrow is I opened up some Heritage high number, and I had a feel, I don't know why. I'm like, boy, I think I think something big's going to come out of this. And I did hit a 1 in 1,000 packs pull that I'm going to put that video up tomorrow.
Cool. Oh, yeah. That's good. We're looking forward to that then.
Yeah, that was fun, and it's somebody, even me not knowing the new stuff, it's a name I knew. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good. I mean, and as far as buying those chase boxes and stuff, there really aren't that many options out there anymore, especially since they probably can't afford to pack the stuff like they did 5-10 years ago for sure. So what do we do? What are we going to do when this stuff dries up here in 2 or 3 years? Also, where are you going to go buy this and have fun like this?
Yeah. Well, and this is something I forgot who I joked about it with, is like, so all the stuff you guys are getting out of these chase boxes, and like you could have so much inventory in 10 years that maybe you guys are making chase boxes out of everything that you've pulled out of these. You have a basketball, football, baseball 1980 to 1989 box that you put out because, that's what somebody's done, is they've taken their cards and, inserted a few, high-end 4 or 5 figure chases and packed in a bunch of commons with it. So.
Yeah. I do wonder, like, how do they make these chase boxes? I wonder what they do.
I'm sure they buy.
You think they
collections?
Buy collections and sets, and break them out just like a set break box?
I would imagine they're constantly buying set or
that's something.
Collections off someone.
I'll tell you, set break boxes, we love that too. And I don't want to turn this into a commercial, but
I was about to mention
those top 20 set break boxes that we have in collaboration with leagueleaders.com. I think, man, that if we weren't putting that on, we would be buying at least half of those boxes every time that they came out.
Yeah,
because you're guaranteed a top 20 hit, right?
Yeah.
And we thought, that is such a cool idea, and maybe it'll, who knows, maybe it'll take off everywhere else. But you don't have to fool with the comments.
I can't believe no one's done that before. Because I mean, that's something we would get into.
Yeah,
easy.
Oh yeah, easy.
But I am going to buy into one of those. I get paid Friday. That's what I looked today, and there's 8 spots left, I think, in the 75. That's the one I was going to try to dive into because of the 75 set that I have. I'm always trying to upgrade, but I've bought into, so the set breaks that I'm not going to mention the breaker, but the only breaks I would buy into when they would break a completely graded set. Then they have some raw set breaks and stuff, but like I bought into a 62 completely graded, everything was 6 or better, and I bought like 6 spots, and they're only like $14 a piece, and I ended up with a Gaylord Perry rookie and a 6 out of that. So those are fun to do too when they do a set break, because I bought into pack breaks, and really in a pack, I mean, you might not hit what you're hoping, and you end up with a 1977 common that you just paid $11 for to get into that break. So
yeah. I mean, that's part of the chase, though, right? That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of chasing stuff. We love the chase just as much as anybody else, for sure.
Yeah, because you have as much chance to get the key card as anybody else.
That's right. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's all just. I mean, for us, that's just fun, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? That's fun. Chasing that stuff, that's always the best. But buying raw cards, like you said, is a little bit of a risk. I think the hobbies. I think since the grading companies have come out, right, and they've started exposing this stuff a little bit more, you can feel a little bit better about it nowadays. But the stuff that was trimmed 30 years ago still out there trimmed, right? So it's pretty risky.
back in the 80s, I had a so-called friend of mine sell me I didn't know they had technology to do this back then, but the hot rookie back then was Darryl Strawberry, 84 Donruss. And he sold me for like $10. He sold me a fake 84 Donruss Strawberry rookie.
Really? Oh my gosh. Now that's hilarious right now, thinking of it, that somebody would copy that card.
Yeah.
Have you still got it?
No, because the guy at the card shop, the local card shop back then, was suspicious of this guy, the guy selling the fakes. And then he told him to come in, and then I don't know, somehow he he cornered him. He caught him. He's like, no, these are fakes. And then and then he knew I had gotten a fake. He says, well, I'm going to tell Phil that you did that on purpose or something like that. So he gave me the $10 back. I gave him the fake back, and he felt bad and gave me he knew Steve Garvey was my favorite player at the time. So he gave me, it's probably, I still have the Garvey. It's probably a 1. It's 1971 Garvey rookie that was just completely looked like a dog chewed it. So that was, so
what a kind
anyway, the
gesture.
card shop guy, made him give the $10 back to me. And then, he, as a sorry sign or whatever, gave me a chewed up Steve Garvey rookie. So, there's funny stories of when we're kids and cards. Just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. I can, so even what's crazy is when you look back and you think about the stuff you traded and the stuff you wanted. Then, I'm a Dale Murphy fan, and I would probably have traded any of those other guys for a Dale Murphy cards back then.
Yeah.
And now you look back and like, that might not have. But at the time, who cares? That was the fun of it, right? That's really the point of trading cards, right? Is trading to get what you want. So
yeah, what cards that you like. He's not a Hall of Famer, but I still love Steve Garvey cards.
Yeah.
I try to acquire, nice shape and get some of my nice raw Steve Garveys graded. So I like his cards, and he's overlooked by a lot of collectors.
Yeah. So when you're out buying cards, if you're buying raw cards versus graded cards, do you think you go about it differently? Would you say you go about it differently? Would you say that you look at a raw card a lot more forgiving than you look at one that's graded when you're buying it?
What do you mean?
I do, but you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if I'm looking for if I'm trying to buy
that magnifying glass out on that thing.
if I'm trying to buy a graded card that's a 5, and I know that 5 is perfectly fine for me, I might not pay as much attention to it as if I'm trying to buy a 5 raw card. Yeah. I might worry a lot more about the centering. I might worry a lot more about the surface. I won't. You might not get as nervous about the purchase in a graded card that's already there.
Yeah. That's exactly true because. Well, and then the thing that's hard is, really 95% of what I buy, or if not more, is off of eBay. And no matter how good a picture is, you have no way to hold it up at an angle as if that's the advantage of a card show. Like I said, I have not been to a card show in way too long. As you can handle it, you can look at it, So I think for buying raw, a card shop or a card show is better. But I buy most of my raw off of eBay just because it's easier to sit down at the computer in the evening and search through eBay. But yeah, definitely I definitely look at raw stuff a lot closer, and I won't believe what they put. If they put X mint, I don't look at that. I look at the card, and then if let's say I see something raw and the pictures to me look like that could be a 6. I won't pay more than the value of like a 4 or a 5, just in case I'm missing something. Yeah. Just in case I get it in hand and I'm like, oh crud, look at that corner. So that's kind of one guideline I'll use for raw, is I'm always trying to pay below what it looks like it's worth. Whereas like a something already graded, I probably paid exactly market value for this. So it's
but
so
you can because you know exactly what the market value is, right?
Yeah.
On the raw cards, you might not quite be 100% sure about what the market value is, and your guess. Obviously, I mean, you guys probably have seen our reveal videos where we could be off 3 grades. It's like, why is that?
I miss stuff all the time.
Honestly, we have so much fun doing that we take a glance at it and then we're like, let's see what this thing gets.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh no, we missed something. As usual.
That's the excitement and the nervousness of when you get a grading order back. Is like you're hoping that you weren't 3 grades above on your guess. You thinking this, Murphy rookie's a 7 and it gets a 4, but then there's the excitement on the other side of some of these, things. You're like, wow, what if that got a darn 9? You're like, the value of that. And then
we are suckers for that.
Yeah.
What's that?
We are suckers for that for sure. I mean, what if this thing, it looks really good? What if it did get a 9? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Of course, it comes back at 6.5, but
or 7.5 typically.
But still, the excitement, like you said, the excitement of the potential.
There is a chance.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a chance.
And we don't blacklight our cards usually. We don't sit there with the microscope on. And some of the cards that are faked, we're going to check and make sure it looks like it's a real card. It's not just a scan of a card. That's always fun for us. I love doing that. But I find that when I buy a raw card, especially like I would say like centering, I don't really worry as much about centering, I think, when it's graded, because I know exactly what that grade is. But sometimes I worry about centering more on a raw card too.
Yeah.
Like, are they really going to take off 2 points for centering, or are they going to knock off 4 points for centering? It almost seems like the centering too is almost like they post what they say centering has to be for these grades. I don't know that they even go by that, but I'm not sure. I would love to have a professional grader on the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, because there are some, like, I mean, I just saw a recent of the one guy who puts the top 10 sales lists of the past month or whatever, and there was like a 9 of, I forgot, it was a vintage 9, and even he commented on the video saying, boy, they were generous with the centering on that 9. So it's Yeah. Do you have a centering tool? No.
Yeah. We have one, and that thing's really hard to use. I
don't even know what a centering tool is. I mean, that's.
I've got one in my drawer. He's got one. I never pull mine out.
That's smart, because
but you got to remember, Rusty Nuts, his version of review.
If it looks good, it looks good. I'll take my chances.
I've got one somewhere here, Phil. It might even be up top. I thought it was right there.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll eyeball it, or I'll use like something on my desk to kind of see that the borders are all the same. But on some of them, I still can't figure out, like, 1983 tops, where the tops is above the border. Do they measure the centering from the top of the tee, or
that's hard to. I mean, I don't know. I think that they just use the border, and then they consider the top of the tee just part of outside the border. But I don't. How do you know that for sure? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a little centering tool. So you're supposed to be able to put that over your card.
Wow.
And you can tell if it's 25, 75, 25, or 60, 40. But the gradations on this are so tight that you can really change it a grade or two just by moving it a little bit to one side or the other like that. It's a fun thing to do. It's fun to take your card So like here's here's my Murphy 83 Murphy that has sitting here, right? So you can take it, and you're supposed to be able to tell, how get a number on one side, get a number on the other side, get another number on the top and the bottom. And then they have this, and they say if you get these numbers, you got 60-40 centering.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're very cheap, right? They're very cheap, and so if you've never done it, I mean, it's worthwhile. It's worth having. It's always fun but it does add a lot of frustration probably, because when you do this and you say, "There's no way that's that bad centering."
And one of these little magnifying, picked that up at the show last time we went.
You guys are high tech.
I never use it.
My centering tool, I kind of go looking at it like this. Okay, that edge looks like that. That okay, looks even. But then I flip it around, like, oh, wait a minute, no, that edge is bigger. Well, no, that one. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, geez.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can get a pretty decent number off of this, right? I mean,
okay,
and it's fun. I mean, this one is actually called the original Grademaster card centering tool. There's a little promo for them. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're fun. They're fun to play with, and you get a decent idea. But you can change it.
Snake bought me one. I put it in the drawer. I don't think I've ever used it.
You ever come back, send a card off to be graded, and come back and realize there's a hole through it? That's rusty nuts right there.
I did that once.
You did?
I did that once when something came back a 1, and you'll love what card it was. It was a 61 Maris.
Ooh. Oh, well, that card's worth getting a 1 in no matter what.
I was so because I probably paid like I don't know. I think I paid like $120 for it, thinking it was like a 4 or a 5, and it got a 1.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Ooh.
oh, well, son of a gun. That thing I thought was just a little dot blemish is in the exact spot on the other side. That's a hole.
Well, I mean, we've bought cards. I think
it was a 68 Willie Mays, and that thing centered beautiful. Corners, a little rough, but thought maybe 4. Came back a 2. And Snake held it up. He's got a hole in it. I was like, I didn't even see it.
Oh, those are the best. Those are the best right there for sure. But yep, I mean, we like he's saying, we have bought cards, brought it home, hold it up, and say, well, somebody had this up on their board.
Yeah.
But pinholes are great. I would never have my 59 Mickey Mantle card up there if somebody didn't put it up on their cork board. That way I would be able to afford that raw.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Just enjoy your cards you got, right?
Yeah. I've got an action shot Mickey Mantle. What is that? 58 or 59 when they had the Willie Mays, the Hank Aaron.
Yeah, I can't remember what year it is.
I bought you the Aaron, for your birthday, but I got one that's got a pinhole in it. I pulled that thing out here not too long ago and was like, man, I ought to send this in. And I was like, oh, I forgot it's got a pinhole in it. But still, it's a nice looking card.
Yeah, I don't have it right here. Yeah, but
don't drop any of those this time.
Yeah, that's part of. I mean, just think about back in the 50s, right? They didn't care. They didn't.
Oh my gosh, no.
I mean, those guys. That's why they're worth so much, really, because those guys didn't know. I mean, it would be like me in 99 or 98 with Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have known, right? We didn't know.
Well, even my 83, 84 tops were all in rubber bands. They're all rubber banded, 50 cards at a time. So 1 through 49, 50 through 99, 100 through, we're all in rubber bands.
Yeah. And it was more about just having the card that you wanted than, oh, look, this card's perfect. You know, look at this. This thing's perfect. Oh, no, it's got this spot on it. I don't want this one. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know the rubber band. I didn't know they damaged them. I mean, I didn't know over time, something sat there for like a year and I took the rubber band off and all of a sudden it's like it has a nice
imprint.
Imprint stripes down as a lot of the rubber bands would, deteriorate and melt on you. And then you're
yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
I mean, you just know that's what's incredible with some of the high grade vintage is like, how did that survive? Like, did somebody, put it in an old school photo album where you peel the plastic back, put it there, put it on, close it, forget about it for 40 years? Some of these you're like, how?
Yeah, especially like a T206 card. How does a T206 card come back in 8, right? How does that even happen?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, just finding one in a 1 or a 2 is amazing. Is just like such a privilege to own that card, right? One of those.
Yeah.
And then somewhere out there, there's one that's in mint shape. It's amazing.
I was looking at this before we started. I was tempted to pull them out and get them graded.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we did a video on that, I think, a long time ago. That's
a long time ago.
Was it triple folder?
Yeah.
From Authentic Autographs. You could buy those boxes, and they'll give you 2 T206 cards and then the autographs in the center. How cool is that?
Bill Kerrigan and Gabby Street. But those are super cool.
Yeah.
Yep. But back then, obviously they didn't know. They didn't know. They're putting them on cork boards and putting them in their riding around with them on their bicycle wheels, so it sounds like a motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, luckily we'd take a deck of playing cards for that.
Did you?
Yeah. Take a deck of playing cards and put them in the bike spokes, and that was the neatest sound. And then, did you ever have one of those where you could put it on your handlebars and then and it made a motorcycle sound when you?
Oh yeah.
You
the grip. The grip just made a little sound.
Yeah.
yeah. But they didn't last very long.
No.
It was a cheap electronics, but that's okay. Yeah. That's what else can you? As far as when you're trying to find stuff to buy and chase stuff around, local card shops, and then going to card shows, like you said, you haven't really been to card shows in a while. When we went back to the Nashville show, that was the first time we went back there. That was just amazing for us.
Yeah.
It was so cool for me. It was just nostalgic and huge, and bring back all the fellowship of all those guys in there talking cards, and that was just the local show. The local shows are pretty cool, but nothing like going to a big show like that. I think we've never been to the National. Maybe one day that'll be on our bucket list if we ever get a chance to. But the Nashville show is big enough for us, for sure.
Yeah, it's just overwhelming. It's just so cool to see the stuff that's there.
How often do they have it? Every 3 months?
I think they're doing 3 large shows a year now.
Nashville?
So it's kind of a 4-month deal.
Okay.
They have monthly shows also. They're local, kind of small, so you could go down there and do that. But the big shows are like 3 times a year, I think. And of course, I'm sure if we went to the National, I don't know what we would do there. But the Nashville show, there's plenty of cards there for us. You probably saw our videos, and it's that show. Honestly, that first show we went to was a whole lot more vintage than new cards. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
That show there was probably 60-70% vintage.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
which was crazy to us. I mean, we never imagined that that would happen. And these guys just cases and cases full. And you go by one guy, and there's just a guy there with one case, and it's just nothing but Manals and Mays and big time stuff. And he's like, "No, I don't fool with that. I don't fool with that other stuff."
I don't think I've even ever held a 52 Manal, and that would be something that if next show I go to, because the shows like I always said the ones that I went to before, I was on the hunt for. Listen, we need to have one of these ball card banters. Needs to be a forgiveness of sins episode. Of where we get forgiven for buying 150 Robin Ventura rookies that run 75 cents a piece. We get forgiven for buying a stack of Mark Grace 88 Fleer rookies, things like that.
Oh yeah. And I wonder, you think about that, and then you think about, well, what are those Ventura and Mark Grace cards out there right now that people are buying, right? I mean, is Acuna that, or is Acuna going to turn into a major star? I guess that's fun. That's part of the fun of the collecting too, though. I mean,
you can't. There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of those players, but that's part of the fun of it, right? Trying to figure out who's going to be the next big hit.
Yeah, I never guessed right, and then even when I got back into the hobby. The rookies I was buying were here's a name that you haven't heard in a while. Ben Grieve bought a ton of rookies, and Adam Pyatt, Barry Zito, Eric Burns.
Yeah. I mean, Danny Tartable was one. I always thought there were some of those in the '80s too. Those guys that were right there, and you're like, oh man, this guy's going to be big.
Ron Kittle.
Yeah.
Do you remember Ron Kittle? I mean, he hit like 35 homers as a rookie, and that was like everybody. That was right before Mattingly and Gooden hit the scene, 84, 85. I want to say Ron Kittle's rookie was like an 83 traded. Oh my gosh, nobody could get a Ron Kittle. It was all about Ron Kittle, and all of a sudden then. 2 years later, he was hitting 12 homers and striking out 200 times, and he was done.
But he did it, man. He did it. He made it there. He made it. That's awesome. Oh man, that is funny that just to think back on some of those guys that we all spent so much. I mean, even just think of the Canseco 86 Don Russ. I mean, gosh. I mean, there's nothing. Is there anything that compares to that card, really? I don't know.
Yeah, that was I was even more into the hobby in 87 than I was in 84, 85. So, or 86 Donruss. Yeah, that's, that was, the craziness over the Canseco to me was even bigger than the craziness over the 84 Donruss Mattingly.
Oh, I think so, because the hobby had matured so much at that point. The Beckett's had been out for a little while now, and people were card shows at every single mall across the country. Yeah, and man, if you had a Canseco 86 Donruss sitting out, and before grading, so it didn't matter if it was a 5 or a 6. If it was fresh. It was almost $100 card, seems like, back then.
Oh yeah.
No, it was. Yeah. No, it was. I think my only one I had is I pack pulled it because in the local card shop case, it was just it was an expensive it probably did have $100 tag on it. Yeah.
And I just wonder how many of those cards were actually nines and tens compared to now. I mean, now if you get a 6 in that card versus a 10, man, what a big difference that is, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember going to a card show once and a guy having a card. I don't remember what the card was, but he was actually saying that he had a Beckett, and he's like, this card's worth 10 times what the Beckett is because it's perfect. And I was like, you're crazy. No one will ever pay more than the Beckett price ever.
Yeah.
and just because you think it looks, I mean, what does it matter if it looks perfect back then? Nobody cared really.
Yeah.
And now, a 10 is, it doesn't matter what year it is. We were looking at 86 tops, I think, just 10s and 86 tops, and thinking hundreds of dollars, and if you got it doesn't matter what it is. If you get a 10 and something, somebody's going to want it for their set, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to buy that card.
Yeah. There was just a 1990 tops. No, I was just telling somebody else this too the other day. 1990 tops Nolan Ryan, just the base tops Nolan Ryan in a 10, just sold for something like $160.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
I'm like, whoa.
And you could buy that card. I guess, I don't know. That would be a super fun thing to do, is like a 10 challenge of 80s cards. Like, just pick a year and go for it. The first one to get a 10 wins.
That would be
doesn't
fun.
Doesn't matter what card it is. I mean, that would be so fun to open a whole box and be like, just try to find the 10 out of that.
Yeah.
And if you get one, it's gonna pay off if you get one, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that would be. I would love to, but you could get stuck down a rabbit hole with that.
Yeah, you can spend like $1,000 in grading fees and have a bunch of 9s.
Yeah, that's right. 9s commons of 87 tops. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's the thing when you say on those Ventura rookies. I want to say all 150 are miscut the same.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't even give them away at this point. And and believe me, I still have all of them. I never got rid of some of that stuff. I go through sometimes my old rookie box and I'm pulling out, Ron Darling rookies and all the, stuff I had sleeved.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, this was going to be worth something. And
yeah, but have you found yourself able to get rid of those cards?
No.
Yeah. I mean, my old shoe box over here, I go through it and I've got like an 80 tops Alan Trammell. And it's like, to me, that card that I've had is just a special card. And for some reason, I always thought maybe it's just because it wasn't a common. But that card, I mean, I know where it is, and it's always going to be there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's like my first cards, the off the Hostess boxes from the late 70s that look like I used a stone cutting tool to cut them off the box. They're I have a handful still from when I was a kid, maybe like 13 or 14 of them. And those were my first cards, and I can't get rid of those. Well, Fred Lynn's missing a head and stuff, so like nobody would want them anyways. So,
you did it with your teeth. You cut it off the box with your teeth.
You know what? It looked like I chewed them off. I mean, they're bad.
But it was cool getting cards back then, especially like in a box of cereal or something. I mean.
Well, I loved those, like when you guys just pulled out of one of the Chase boxes, pulled the Nestle. I mean, I would, stuff myself full of cereal just to get at the cards and make my mom have to go buy another box. Oh, look at that. I finished this box in a day and a half. Who knew?
Yeah. And you got a free card. You got them free, though. You didn't have to go bug your parents to go buy you a pack of cards. They're just in their box, in the cereal. That's awesome. Oh, well, I think we've rambled on probably long enough. Appreciate everybody kind of hanging out with us here. This is super fun for us, and we hope eventually it'll be more and more fun for everybody out there. Probably a good time to wrap up. What do you think there, Rusty Nuts?
Yeah.
You got any other cool topics you want to talk about tonight?
No, I'm good to go.
How about you, Phil? You had anything else? Any cool topics you want to talk about?
We covered a lot. This is fun. It's the only regret is there's no way to have all everybody watching like in a room and just talk for 5 hours cards. It's just I never get tired of this.
Yeah, I mean honestly, we could sit here and do this for another hour and a half. Honestly, we could. Yeah, I think at least I could. We always have a blast doing it, and we hope you guys out there start, more and more people can kind of come in here and hang out and chat and talk with us in the future. So we'll try to keep this going as long as we can, because there's nothing better than getting together and talking cards, is there?
Well, also so many, and you could have a 30-year age difference and you still have a lot of the same experiences collecting cards. There's so much common ground and so much stuff, just experiences to learn from, and the common experiences are fun. Like, I mean, a lot of the other card talk stuff that I watch, it's like, oh my gosh, they think the same way I do. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's so.
Yeah. So that's it's crazy that everybody talks the same or thinks sort of the same, but then again, everybody's got their own little niche too, right? I mean, my collection is different than Rusty Nuts' collection is different than your collection, different than everyone in this chat over here. Yeah. We're all regular guys. We all have this cool, fun hobby we're into. We all have our little things that we do different, and that's kind of what makes it so special, I think, probably.
Yeah, and then it's neat seeing, like, I mean, I'm so fascinated with your Fleer set, because that is just something that that's got to be hard to acquire in that grade. It's just, and I probably, older Fleer cards, I probably only have like 5 or 6 in my whole collection. Like, I just don't have those. It's something that I never, and it's just, you see things in other people's collections that you're just like, wow, that is just neat. I mean, all cards are neat to me, and that's what's fun is.
Yeah, and hearing the stories about how, like your Steve Garvey or my Fleer 63 Fleer, everybody's got something that just kicked them off on that started them on that, and then this is what it kind of grew into. So, maybe sometime we'll cover those topics in a future show, hopefully. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you guys all for joining us, and hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we did, and we'll try to keep this going for as long as we can, right?
That'll work.
You got anything else?
I'm good to go.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Snowman, thanks for joining us once again, and everybody out there. I will pretty much go ahead and do the outro. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for us. If you enjoyed our channel and Snowman's channel, go subscribe to both. And until the next round of Card Banter, we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
See y'all.
Bye.